Do you know the modern world where there's fees for things and they have laws to protect you from extortion? Remove those laws that protect you from extortion.
The laws are the extortion.
Yeah, welcome to the Middle Ages. My favorite Simpsons jokes. Have you heard the term usury? Oh, sorry, I must have made up a word that doesn't exist.
We're not living in a universe where there's a codified religious rule against usury or anything. Guess what? You're screwed.
There is. Welcome to Ironclaw, where it's more medieval than medieval. We don't even have rules against simony.
I love it.
So, waiting until he gets to landfall might be a little difficult, but also, yes, we might also be better on land.
I mean, better on land. There's also the issue of catching this barge, which is already en route down a river.
Right.
Well, I don't think we're going to catch it. I think we're going to intercept it.
At least in meta discussion about like our skill sets in doing this, Connor is technically our starfighter. We do have Dan who can fight. We have Anushka who can fight and flies around, but I don't think has a lot more other than some talking gossip and travel skills.
And here's the funny part. We're assuming that they're going to make landfall in Triskellian because they might not.
Yeah, if they just go out in the open ocean, we're doomed.
No, they could unload it. The map only has major cities on it, but there's definitely riverside towns. There's no reason why they might not unload him and walk him in.
I mean, which would be a better position for an ambush.
The Exchequer House is also right, but I mean they might walk him in. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. I assume that they would go.
Right.
I mean, they might also walk him in because what they might also do is they might. They're river pirates. What they might do is say, "Well, look, Connor's just one guy. You know, he's just one person and his servant. It can't take more than 4 of you to escort him, maybe 6. I mean, come on, surrendered.
They've got 6 guys.
Plus an additional 3 on the boat.
Well, no, I mean, they have the 4 wolves, plus Connor, plus his ally.
Okay. I'm going to assume that they're not right. I mean, so they might actually like take the boat landfall, go in there and find out if there's a warrant against any 6 of them, because that might actually be worth it. They might also do landfall early and escort them in.
I guess to get to the action, though, we do have 3 different parties. Which one are we going to do first?
Well, actually, now that I think about it, you guys are traveling by land. You two make sure that they don't make landfall early. So you dog their boat. I'll go to Triskellian and in advance find out what warrants are against him and also petition the Avatar embassy. Thank you, Doctor, for teaching me how to read, which means I can write a letter to ask for help.
And they might even read it back.
So I'll go do that. Sadly, I've sold back all of my insiders. Oh no, sorry, not all of my insiders. No, yes, all of my insiders. I have sold all of them back.
So I guess, do we want to go ahead and do Anushka first then?
Anushka might be the quickest. Okay. So what I will say, Anushka, is when you reach the city of Triskellian, and this has been the first time you've returned to your fair city in many months, I think.
It's a foreign place to me, as in no, actually, wait, I haven't sold back my local knowledge, so I know this place.
Okay, so you still have local knowledge. Very good. It is, but it does have a very different feel to when you left it last.
I'm a different person now. I can't step twice in that same river.
That's true. But when you think back on Triskellian, right? I imagine that you picture bustling crowds of diverse peoples who are all, enjoying their work, enjoying that they, confident that they are on the cutting edge of culture and they're living in the fast lane, right? This very sense of cosmopolitan elegance or elitism. And that's sort of the culture that you grew up in. When you return, you have there's just a very different feel. Instead of sort of a jovial pranking and joking among people, there are suspicious looks and a brusque kind of coolness to one another. Everyone is in everyone else's way. And you just get the sense that, yeah, the vibe is much cooler. Huh?
Is there a rooster singing the phony King of England?
In the stockade, yes. There's it's definitely Triskellian has seen brighter and better days. So what was it? What was the first thing you wanted to accomplish here coming back?
Okay, so well, I assume I get here ahead of the ferry or the barge, but I don't even know if they're going to be here. Darn it! I guess the first thing to do is to go to the constabulary on the pretext that I'm delivering mail. But I want to check the bounties list while I'm here.
All right. You can see that it is a bounty that has hung there for a while. It's sort of I guess if it's a list, it's near the
I can read
top of the list. Yeah. You can read it now.
I mean,
yep.
You would go in and they would, here you could ask, like, I'm here to see the list of bounties, and they would say, "Are you a bounty hunter?" And I could say, "No, but I think Mr. Washington."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, no, I feel like I saw somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if they give me any grief, I don't know if they give me grief.
Right. They're not going to give you any grief. It seems like when you come in, you're largely ignored by the police force there, who are also largely canine, but you see there's also foxes and cats interspersed among them as well. And they just
skunks. A lot of the constables are skunks because they have good crowd control.
Oh, there you go. Right. Yeah, I like that. Like built-in riot suppression. Perfect.
Yeah, a little bit.
So you see what you expect to see. No one really has the time for you. If you press, it takes a little while, but they will show you the list, and you see that Connor is on the list. Currently, they're offering an aureole for his head and 10 or 6 denarii for anyone who is directly associated with him. That's as specific as it gets.
Bounty.
Oh.
Like, these guys are going to be like incredibly disappointed for a single aureole. Wow.
It's come down in the months since, I guess, you've been bumped off the top 10 most wanted list there, Connor.
Well, crummy heck, I want to get a copy of this warrant. Is there a way I can get a copy of the problem is I'm not a licensed bounty hunter, nor do I have title. So I want to get a copy of this, because literally
that might be tricky. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is hysterical, because literally I could just confront the guys on the barge with this and say, look, they're offering 1 aureole. I'll give you like 3 if you just let me leave with him right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point. But like I said, these guys don't have the time of day for you. You could try to persuade one of them. Perhaps.
Yes, I would like to persuade. Please, seeing I need to deliver to Averbois Domain, and they wanted me to get a warrant, for this. They wanted me to go ahead and tell them the fate of certain people, so I need to go ahead and get warrants of 1 or 2 people just to report them back. I know it's irregular, but you can help me, right? I mean, I'm just a doe-eyed ingenue who knows nothing of the wider world, and walked in here naively agreeing with this assignment. If you don't help me, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. So I'd like to use both deceit and negotiation, 2 skills I have.
Interesting. Okay, deceit and negotiation. They will. Well, I was going to roll against the DC, but if you're going to use that, then I'm going to roll against you with their skills.
Usually that should raise the difficulty, but I've got more dice to use. So.
Well, then we'll raise the difficulty. I was just looking for 1 success, but now I'm looking for 2.
Now, does my local knowledge help because I can talk like a local?
Yeah. I'll give that to you. Sure.
Well, that's a shitty roll.
So close. I'll say here's the succeed at cost
that's only
thing.
1 success, so that's
it's only 1 success.
Enough. Yeah,
the guy will say he makes it clear that he will take a bribe. If you can cough up 2 denarii, he'll get them to make a copy for you.
Done. That was easy.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yeah. It was like, well, sorry, that's my pay raise. Just slide the. Well, but I could see you can do to cut through the bureaucracy. You seem like a nice girl. And I'll just
Exactly.
kinda
He's like, now
smile
you
at
stay
her.
out of trouble. And they get you a copy.
Oh, yes.
made
I
up.
don't know what trouble is, I say. And I guess it's a rainy day. I can feel the numerous scars on my body ache.
Fair, true.
I have
All
that
right, so-
giant scar along my body that's one continuous sword cut.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, so I have the warrants sealed and
Indeed.
notarized. Excellent. I have great news. I don't even need to involve the embassy. I will then go look to see if my friends have arrived. If they haven't, I will go report to the Avoirdupois embassy.
Okay. I'd say they probably won't arrive for at least another day. Based on your airspeed, right? You probably made it there pretty quick.
So the next thing to do is, on the pretext of delivering mail to the Avoirdupois embassy, I would just say, like, hey, by the way, how is the Connor? What's Connor's last name? It's not Lissamento. What's Connor's last name?
Levere.
Ecrevis.
Repen?
Levere.
Levere. Okay.
There.
Yeah, I will go
That's
to the
right.
embassy and say, I have news to report that Connor Levere has been detained. But no one might
yeah.
actually like give me audience or anything. It's like I think he's just been temporarily, Well, actually, I don't think I should tell them he's been detained because that would hurt his status. I mean, I just want to ask. So, what's the status of Levere? They're still in good standing with the king. You can gossip with me,
yeah.
an unwashed commoner who smells clearly of brine and mud.
I like it. Yeah, all right. Why don't you give me a gossip? Gossip.
Because I can hang out with people, and I have
Yeah.
gossip because I'm
Sociable.
a messenger who's cosmopolitan. That is a whopping one success.
That's one success.
What is with these ones?
I know, right? They're infectious. Okay. Yep. You managed to chat up an owl who is working at the embassy, and they seem like a nice enough lady, and they say, the Levere family, based on our knowledge, are doing quite well for themselves. They have, despite their one son, Connor, who has been making a name for himself as a bit of a wandering hedge knight. The rest of the family is quite stable. I think I heard recently that the youngest son has signed up to help with the war efforts against the Doloro. Surely that will bring them great honor and further glory to their family name.
Oh, his brother. Well, anyway. Yeah. I'll just kind of nod. Okay. I'm just here to drop off notes and pick up any mail. And then I guess I'm going to lay low until everyone else shows up. Like, this is great news. We could just show up and bribe the guys. And I have proof because I have the warrant that says he's only worth one Oriole. We definitely need to turn this over because we don't want Della Vega to find out about this. So that's what I'll do. I guess I'll just be hanging out.
Okay.
I'll just be hanging out in the dockyard saying, hey, do you know where any sailors?
Okay, cool. All right, so let's head to the let's head to the ship, right? So Connor, basically you guys are captives now. They have shackled you. They've given you pretty uncomfortable quarters for you and Potter and the rest of the K Club. These wolves look like they are ready to tear you apart, given the first opportunity. But luckily, they have been manacled and they have been muzzled as well. You know, the reason for this is because they tried to appeal to the captain of the ship, a man named Salvatore, the cat that you bartered with, and they discovered. Basically, what they tried to say is that these guns are the property of Triskellian to begin with, that they were en route to deliver them when they were intercepted by Connor and his people, and that if you were to turn them over or help them finish their delivery, surely you would be well rewarded. seems like Salvatore is not willing to bet on that. So instead, he has muzzled these individuals so that they can't speak their lies. It seems that his plan is to sell these guns for money once they hit Triskellian, right? Connor, you do have opportunities, however, to speak with members of the crew, and to speak with the wolves, and I guess anyone else that's with you, which really at this point is just Potter, right? So if you wanted to do anything or make any moves, you have at least a day, probably like a couple days to do so.
Well, I'm sure he and Potter would be, fretfully talking about their situation. But I, as Connor, can't see any way to change it.
That's fair too. Also, doing nothing is viable. You don't put yourself in any additional risk that way. And if you think of something, we can always come back to you later as well. So,
All right.
no pressure. Okay.
But for now, let's not be any more trouble than we're worth.
Got it. Just stay calm and trust that your friends are on the way. Speaking of your friends, Doctor and Dan, what are you guys up to?
Well, Anushka gave us some money, so getting a coach is going to be the first deal now that we're on this side of the river, and then following the river, making sure they don't get off early.
I hear you. But let me counter you a counter pitch.
Sure. What are you thinking?
What if we found a bar?
You make a very convincing argument, but there will be bars in Triskellion.
Oh, what bars there will be.
And I will buy you a drink.
All right, I'll hold you to that, Big Willie.
Oh,
I wish you wouldn't say that. For several reasons.
Strike Anonymous for another day.
No, well, oh yeah, I guess you responded to it. You did
I would have
respond to
to
it.
acknowledge that as my name, and I'm definitely not going to acknowledge Big Willie.
You're just going to give him the silent treatment. Like, oh, who? To whom do you refer? Okay, so you guys are tracking south along the river. And I'll say that you guys can keep pace. Even if you can't catch up to the barge, you can check all of the places that they might have unloaded on the side of the river. As I said, multiple small villages, the occasional town. And so far, no place seems like they haven't made landfall at any of those locations. And it does take you, let's say you're for the carriage. What would it be?
If it's
like
2 days, it's like 4 or I was looking at it. It's
okay.
4 per day.
Well,
dinar.
the thing, yeah, I'm not.
$4 dinar per league. But
I mean, not cost-wise, but if we're talking about
Mhm.
time, we also have to stop at every location and talk to people.
That's true. So,
So I don't know how many unlisted locations there are between here and Triskellion.
1, 2. I'll say it takes you guys 3 days. It looks like based on just sheer distance, it would be about 2 days travel, but we'll say you end up losing another day in making these stops and inquiring about the barges.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and pay 12 dinar for that. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right. And why don't you guys give me a mind and gossip?
Mind and gossip. Okay. So that's going to be 2d6 for me, and I'm
Assisting.
not sure there's anything else I can do
So
to
D8.
increase that. Yep. So just double checking. Yep. Okay. So we got our 2d6 and the d8 assist, and get 2.
Nice.
So what are we picking up on our way in?
All right. With 2 successes, you learn that this barge has passed through here before, that they are flying Doloro colors, but essentially they are like contractors, right? I forget the word
Mhm.
that Rafferty used, but fears are confirmed. They're really in it for the money. They're flying. They're a flag of convenience, right? So you learn that much, but you don't learn anything else about their destination or, yeah. And it doesn't seem like they have made stops at any of the villages that you visit.
All right. Well, at least we've cleared that. And, well, in the meanwhile, at least we get to have a pleasant conversation with each other. Right, Dan?
Yeah, sure. Or every time we stop by a town, you give me a dinar and I run in, get a couple of drinks, and run back real quick.
Sure, I'll go ahead and toss you 3 dinar to just be drunker as much as possible.
Oh, no, I don't mean like I go in there and I drink a bunch. I mean, I go out there, I get like 2 mugs, I just run out of the place, hop
Drinks
back
for the
into
road.
the carriage, and we just have some drinks as we go.
Oh, yeah, cheers to that. There we go. We got something to do on the way.
Okay, well, you guys arrive to Triskellian as you step out of the carriage. Several mugs tumble to the ground. You have collected quite a collection now on the floor of this thing. But you pay your cab driver, and you are now in the sort of dour, grim and gloomy Triskellian I described before. You know that Anushka is here somewhere waiting for you, and you can see in the distance in the bay of Triskellian that there are many, many, many ships flying sails of many different colors.
This will be easy. I just have to pick out the one made out of wood instead of gold. Wait, no, sorry, wrong series.
Well, I mean, Triskellian Harbor is the Dunwasser trading company based out of there, so they have a lot of larger ships.
Mhm.
So, I mean, not a lot of shit. What were they called? Log trawlers? I don't remember. Log breakers.
Right. So around the 3rd day, we're in town, and now I'm beginning my search for Anushka.
And I would be searching for you. So I guess I would give you a D8 assist bonus to find me.
Yep. So I suppose I could, what would it be to find each other? Gossip, task people?
Yeah.
Sorry, in the back of my head, I had this like little meta thing. Well, if Anushka set an ambush up for me, I could roll my danger sense.
You can roll dangerous. Yeah. All right. I do get at least 1 success to try to find Anushka in the big city.
Yeah. I think you guys can, considering you're both trying to find each other, I think 1 success will be enough to track each other down, although it'll probably take the better part of a day to do so. So we're now
4 days in.
coming up on the 4th day of Connor's captivity.
It's also the first time Dan's ever been in a big city.
Yeah, so the real question is, do I see the doctor first, or do I see the barge first?
Right. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the barge would have beaten you guys down there, certainly. And Anushka, you were scouting for it. You would have seen it come in and make birth. Is that the word?
Yeah.
Well, all right, so there's docks.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of which would be wooden docks, some of which would be quays, where you just pile some dirt, rocks. Right.
Hmm.
But docking there costs money, and then you have to have docking inspection before you can unload. So they're probably not going to do that.
Oh, okay. So
Because
you'd think they would go downriver, they'd go out into the harbor a little bit more and just like run aground and then trek into the city.
They float, because, boats can float in the harbor.
That's true. I guess, and then they'd use their dinghies to like transport their prisoners
Right,
in.
and they might go ahead and use their dinghies to try and transport stuff. And
Right.
really, what I can do is I can intercept the entire affair here,
Mhm.
because I mean, this is like a non-starter. If it's only 1 Oriole, I can go in with my negotiation and say that I'm here to arrange for the release of Connor.
Oh, okay.
I could wait for the doctor to show up, but I do have negotiation. And if I can get this done early, we might be able to just get him unloaded and not care.
Okay. Well, so let's say, where do you want to intercept?
Well,
Are you going to
first-
do it at the docks? Do you want to try to fly above them and sort of speak down to them as they're
First,
in
I'm
their.
going to need a safe house. The first thing I'm going to do is I
Yeah.
need to rent a room in the city,
Cool.
probably
Okay.
in the bad part of town. Which dockyards are not the best part of town. They're the second worst place in town. And that doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure I can put down the deposit and the room is available.
Right. Good thinking. Okay.
So I will do that because I have the money. And then I will fly out to the boat.
Okay. All right.
I can do such a
Cool. Connor, they're preparing you for transport onto dry land when Potter looks up and nudges you and points, and you can see the tiny beating wings of your friend and ally Anushka, who apparently has been tracking you this whole time. And Anushka, you catch sight of, I never remember, I've forgotten his name 3 times now. It is Festus. We're gonna say that he's like an orange tabby, and he is the one that you negotiated with on the boat in the first place.
Yep.
But you catch sight of him, and he catches sight of you, and you can see
Oh,
that he
man.
has told some of his men to scramble and get crossbows trained on you, but they weren't ready. So you got some time.
I'm a messenger back, and this is the city. I come to you, under the aegis of peace, and all law. For as we are all people underneath the great heavenly sky, and bound by both the the laws of heaven and the laws of earth. Hail and well met, sir.
This displeases him, but he gives you a very forced grin, exposing his sharp rows of teeth.
Oh, you guys
And he says, "Indeed. Well then, speak your piece."
I have come here to offer you a convenience, as I have come here bearing the warrant for Connor's, for Sir Connor's arrest in the name of Triskellian. I tender this document to you freely and of no charge, seeing as we are such good people who understand one another very well. Surrender the warrant to him.
All right. He snatches it and he looks it over, and he scoffs. You can see that he is a little bit disappointed.
Like, what?
Yeah, like. huh.
Sir, it gives me a heavy heart to see that suffer dismay at news. May I ask, I hope I'm not too forward when I ask what it is causes makes such an outburst.
He sniffs and he says, "Well, now here we thought that this nobleman who seems to comport himself like a common thief would be wanted for more than a puny oriole, but it seems to me that he's worth far more to you. I don't suppose you come here to deal."
Well, sir, I admit that I am but a commoner, but I am also an agent of law. And so, yes, I actually am here to negotiate the release of Sir Connor. I can see that you've gone to considerable effort and already sunk a lot of cost, but I have been empowered by friends of Sir Connor to make you indeed an offer. I would offer you the sum of 3 Orioles for his release to my custody of him and his servant. I say, pointing at Potter.
Potter mouths, "Thank you," at you. But yeah, he all right. Well, he seems to consider this, and he's going to crumple up the bill, right? And he'll say,
It's expensive. This is the Middle Ages. But
"Oh
anyway,
yeah."
I'll let him do it.
He'll let it
I'm
go.
gonna wins because, that's got the Imperial seal on it.
It's obviously not worth anything to him. He's
Yeah,
just made up his mind. He's not going to claim the bounty. So he says, "Fine."
Wait, he can't crumple up and throw it. All the other cats will chase it.
Ha. Okay. Let's see. For your price, you said 3 Orioles for him and for Potter.
Oriole. think
3?
you'll find that to be a better offer than anyone you might find. And I can tender this immediately.
Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah. It's like we release him at this moment. We'll take him to the shore, and I will pay the 3 immediately.
Immediately. Okay, this is not bad. Can I get a negotiation? My
I would be
negotiation.
happy to negotiate.
I'll give you a D8 because I think your terms are pretty favorable for him in this situation. So you get a bonus D8.
Well,
Ugh.
you all see this, right?
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
it's a bad
Seems
day.
to have
well,
a knack.
Let's see. I do have a knack for negotiation. The first thing
Now-
I would like to do, though, is I would like to throw in my effervescent personality because it
Okay.
matters so much that you go ahead and release him. And that is 1 success. And yeah, so and after I do that, I'm going to tempt fate because I'm going to go ahead and then tap my knack, which allows me to reroll all the dice. And I still only have 1
Okay.
success.
Okay.
You
Took a
all
small risk
saw
there,
this,
but
right?
yeah.
That is
That's a lot of
8
threes.
dice and only 2 successes. Among them, each roll only 1 success.
Cool. Well,
So
so
much
there was a.
for,
Yeah.
hopefully that's enough for Connor's relief.
I mean, there was a potential for you to do better. There was a potential for your gambit to fail, but you got what you came for. He's going to look at you, and you can tell that there's something about your effervescent personality that seems to reach him, although he plays it off with an exaggerated eye roll. Fine. Your terms are fair. It's a better offer than we would have gotten from the constabulary, so you can take him and his man. But we're keeping these rogues, and he points to the K Club, the wolves, who are snarling in their manacles.
Yeah, I just made an enemy today, but
Yeah.
I hope you will look out for the welfare of these people, seeing that I can see that you are good people who understand honor, and I'm sure you'll do what's best for those people there. And that's when they're just gonna snarl like,
Oh,
"Hey,
yeah.
you're doing this." It's like, yeah, buddy, I'm not made of money.
Yep. He says, no, we too are servants of law and are bound to keep the waterways free of piracy and of,
Yes,
those
I'll
who
be
scoff.
stuck at it. We have to do it in the name of the dollar, or the Rinaldi are so bad.
Right, there you go. So he says, and we intend to keep the pilfered or the reclaimed property. But you may leave
The
with
end of
them.
an era. It's the end of the war wagon. I'm
The
gonna
end of the
miss it.
war wagon. I gotta tell you a little above the table. Part of the negotiation with the Chroma bandits was going to be you guys getting to use that war wagon as like a defensible position against, armed with muskets. It never really came to be. I don't think you guys ever got an opportunity to really use that war wagon for its intended purpose of war
Connor
wagon.
did have his
driving
one
around.
driving fight.
That's
We
right.
did it. Yeah, we did use it
Near
once.
3 corners for it. That's true.
No, but I never drove the war wagon. I drove the carriage. We
Yeah.
might be lucky enough to see again. Because I'm
true.
sure that carriage was in intact condition when they impounded it. It's been what, 3-4 weeks?
That sounds about right. It was like 2
By
weeks to
law,
get to
they would-
Harrogate.
yeah, after about 30 days, they could get rid of it. So they,
Mhm.
well, sorry. And I want everything to say is like, by law, they would have to wait 30 days to get rid of it. So, and once something's law, we all know this, that once something is law, no one ever breaks the law, especially in their own self-interest, right? That never
Oh,
happens.
definitely
Never
not. No,
happens.
not once.
Right.
Show
So-
me a real world example.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure if I scoured all of your hard drives right now, everything on it's legitimate. Yeah, so they might have already sold it, so it might, be around somewhere, but who knows? But anyway, no, much better news than material goods, which is worldly, and I should remember the lessons of the doctor. All right,
Worldly goods are good in moderation.
let's get Connor and Potter to shore.
All right. As part of the arrangements, they agree to put all of you on a dinghy and get you back to the Triskellian port. As you get there, I mean, you're welcome to make your. You haven't seen each other in a few days, and
Well,
Anushka just saved you.
I'll pay them first,
Okay.
saying this seals our compact between us and you, and such in good honor. Take it and hold your heads high, that you are recognized by the Avoirdupois as honorable.
And he will say, the regard of the Avoirdupois is not worth my spit, but I am personally a man of honor, and our arrangement seems fair. So
Yeah.
go, best of luck to
Speak from the
you.
heart, which is what we say to people who, are armed and are jerked. So,
Yeah.
and then I will give Connor a hug. I miss
There
you
you
so
go.
much. Did they do anything to you? Did they whip you?
No, they did not.
What about Potter?
Connor would, of course, hug Anushka back chastely,
Yes.
But I did have a question for Red. If they confiscated anything that Connor himself was carrying,
I was going to say they would have confiscated your weapons and your armor.
do they
This
give
was not
them
part of
back
the
when we
arrangement.
are released, or do they keep those?
I have one success in the negotiation. I would want his stuff back. And I believe you have extravagant armor.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you do have this gift. I mean, you have the trappings gift, right? Do you
Yeah,
have the
I don't think
trappings
that
gift?
applies to the extravagant armor, though.
I think
I
his
got that
armor
via
is his.
signature item.
Yeah, I think his armor is his signature item. It would be the sword that you'd have a hard time getting back through mechanical means.
Yeah.
The sword. What's the sword?
It's a saber, and he also has a buckler, so they're both 15
Well,
denarii.
saber and the buckler are just expensive items, right?
Yes.
I had one success in the negotiation. Can I convince him to give the sword back?
I feel like one success means that he's comfortable with releasing. I mean, part of it was he would release Connor and Potter, but he's keeping all the loot, like all the stuff.
Yeah.
he tends
Can
to
I make
have.
a counter argument there? Well,
Okay.
they're used goods. At best, he's gonna get like a dinar or two out of it.
No, the saber is what? How much is the saber?
15.
15?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you
if
only
he
sell it
sold
back
that-
at like 20%, unless it's
If he,
haggling.
yeah, that's just a saber. He'd only get 2 or 3 dinar for it. The armor he'd get a lot more for, and the sword is a symbol. Plus, you're dropping us off in crime alley.
Yeah, I think there's also the issue of the sword being a weapon. There's certainly like hostage negotiations. Like if it was like, okay, we've made a trade. Here's your weapons back now. I feel like it's just not. I don't know if
No,
that's
I
gonna
can see
happen.
that. So no. It's good to have you back, Connor. Here, take this martial sword.
Thank you.
Right, it's not nothing.
An
Remember,
exotic weapon from Zhang Gao that's also a fencing weapon. Get you another buckle.
yeah, you'll be able to find those things, and I think
Well, I know where the Avoirdupois embassy is, if you're wondering where that is.
right. That's what I was gonna say.
Our friends are coming soon. I was worried for your safety. I'm glad they take any enormities on you. Truth be told, I'm a little disappointed that the warrant for your arrest is such a pittance. I mean, I could afford it. You belong to me now.
Well, Master, what shall we do? Out of character, I'm going to assume that Connor's Arl and Denari are now gone.
Oh yeah. Yeah, sorry, you got robbed. You basically are like you've got your undergarments. You've got whatever you were wearing under your armor. That's probably about it.
To tell the truth, they probably let you keep that. Yeah, no, I was worried for your safety. I thought that was very honorable for you to do that thing. If you had gone down, choking on your own blood, I still, when I close my eyes at night, can still see Gaston's last look. And if the same thing happened to you, I would be undone.
Well, I have to think of the safety of those around me first. I figured the best thing I could do for all of you.
Excuse me, I have something in my eye. Because, Anushka would break down.
Yeah.
Full of emotions. Well, I'll go ahead and take them to the safe place and say we do have to get out of the city because there is a warrant for your arrest. That was just a copy, but someone else even is a small reward. So the good news is people who come looking for the reward, if we threaten them with honest steel, they might back off. But if De La Vega finds out you're here, I think De La Vega has personal issues. Why? This is also confusing because I think from what I can gather here, people are a little more disappointed because the laws become more draconian. They're like raising taxes and pushing people around.
I mean, you have plenty of time to gather more information about what's going on here, and
like there's all those laws on the books that no one ever imposed anymore, and now they're actually like imposing. Grumble, grumble, gripe, gripe.
Exactly. It seems like there is also there seems like corruption has found its way into the guilds. You guys will know that Triskellian is sort of run by the guilds, right? It's nominally owned by the Rinaldi throne, but the guilds are the ones, the guild leaders are the ones
the Rinaldi have been borrowing money and ceding power so long that the merchant class is very powerful, yes.
Exactly. But of late, what you have heard is that the war that has broken out has actually sort of kickstarted a lot of the economy in Triskellian. It has made several of these guild masters very powerful. Those for like shipping and transportation, those for the manufacture of weapons and arms. These guys have sort of grown in power. There has been changes of position, a lot of them recently, to the point where the common folk are beginning to notice that, like, you know, these people that they trusted, these, you know, basically politicians that they trusted, are being ousted and replaced by newcomers who they know nothing about and seem to be screwing up policy here and there and doing things in terrible, selfish ways.
I sure hope that the merchants never get involved in the art of war and find a way to monetize it for their own personal gain. What a terrible world that would be.
Right, that would be undesirable. Well, it would be undesirable for a certain economic level, right? And very desirable for
mine.
So, yeah, yours. Yep. So, Triskellian has fallen on hard times.
Yeah. So, which probably explains why the bounty is pretty low because nobody wants to pay. They want you dead, but they don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I do like that whole sentence started with, the economy of Triskellian has been kicked off. These people are getting super rich. Triskellian is on hard times.
Well,
some people are getting rich.
The rich are getting richer. The poor sure aren't.
Yeah, but the poor were already poor. Let's face it. Triskellian has a whole section of the city for those poor people.
You know, if they just suppress wages enough, the one Oreo will suddenly look better and better every moment, right?
Really, just making the merchants more wealthy. They're going to pass that wealth along to you eventually. It trickles down.
Oh,
we all know that.
Yeah.
Triskellian down economics, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a Ronald Reagan animal pun to come up with real quick.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think Triskellian down was pretty good.
That's definitely how that works. Yep. So, right. So basically, yeah. So the few benefit. Also, any Tale of Two Cities, any French Revolution reference are going to be liberty, equality, and fraternity. So, yes. So, we need to get you out. I'm not worried about bounty hunters because I know you can handle yourself, against them. I'd be worried about De La Vega. If De La Vega finds out you're here, he may send his loyalists to deal with you. Our friends should be here in a day or two. I trust they'll be here. So, but how would you want to return to your domain? We could go by sea or by land.
Do we have the funds to go by sea?
Well, that's the problem. Even though the Avoirdupois embassy heard of you, I suppose they could lend you some money because, seeing as you're still in good status among the Avoirdupois, they might, lend against your wealth. But I don't have any money. I just gave up. I gave up all my money to rescue you. Oh, and to buy these. I say, holding up a brace fist.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, here I am
Arrogate
complaining
me.
about that stupid elite moneyed class. I say, putting my hand on my solid metal aluminum rapier. I don't have enough money for all of us to travel by boat. And plus, also, you'd have to license a boat, which might be difficult. Well, we couldn't license it. Well, we could go by land. If we go by land, we'd either have to go. I'm looking at the map. We either have to go along the road, which you don't want to do because this is the most De La Vega friendly road in the world. We could try going through the swamps. That's always fun.
Hmm.
We could try going overland to the farmland, which is by definition trespassing. But it would be trespassing into domain like this area here is contested. You know, this is probably Rinaldi farm. This is probably an Avatar farm. This could be a farm in between. It could be no man's land. It could be a bunch of bandits living in a farmhouse waiting to murder us. You know, it could be anything. Traveling overland, I don't think we're in a hurry to get anywhere because you don't actually have to be anywhere specific sometime, do you?
No.
Okay, so we could just trespass through the wilderness. That would have the advantage that they wouldn't be able to spot us, with the disadvantage that it would be hard going. But eventually, I think somewhere along here, we would find someone who was Avatar friendly. Yeah, there's a vague front line. That is a contested front line. So we don't know,
I
what we
was
might
suggesting
find.
a path, not a front
Oh, that's
line.
a path? Oh, that's right. We're going to Harmony. Yeah, no, that could work. I mean, I would even suggest that we should go to Eloge is the first big major city. If we can get to Eloge, we can then start getting carriages and proper transport together.
All right.
Because that's friendly. But to do that, we'd have to you would have to go overland where bandits, monsters, and that I think that purple path I think looks a lot better.
You guys wouldn't. It's probably a lot longer to go from Hanet to Moulin Avet
Look, I didn't pick the pen up. Okay, I couldn't take
than
it
it
back.
is to get to Harmony. But yeah, okay.
Well, no, I mean, once again, the dotted roads that are on there are the huge major highways.
Right.
The other ones on there might be maintained, might not.
Also, there might be a caravan going between Hanet and Mulan that we can just get on board for cheap.
Fair point.
The entire Avatar domain is breadbasket. They control a lot of plains and more pointedly a lot of farmland. They're doing a lot of agrarian stuff. They may have a lot of crappy roads, but they have roads. I mean, the dotted one here that goes from Thanor all the way to Shalon is a paved road.
Yeah.
So
good old Via Salutis.
Yeah, those are the major commerce, but no, we take rural routes. It will take longer. We might be doing 2 days per square instead of 1 day per square, but it would be safer. And I think once we get a rendezvous with our friends, I can't emphasize enough how good it is to see you, Connor. For so many nights that I was worried and had terrible dreams about what might have happened.
Well, likewise, I can't tell you how glad I am to have seen you. And with such wherewithal and foresight to check on the bounty, that's commendable.
I'm gonna have an Anastasia inner monologue of, my God, he cares about my personal feelings. Really? How could someone like him actually care? Like, I'll just go on for like 10 minutes of my own head conversation.
There you go.
Incredibly uncomfortable as I stare off.
I am but a lowborn, and he is of a higher house. He could never be.
I love it. It could never be.
Meanwhile, the doctor's just like, hey, what's up?
But first, I would like to stop at the embassy. Out of character,
Right.
Red, do you think... Now, I know I'm probably not going to get the armor back if I tap the signature item gift right away, but I was wondering if I could, once we get to the embassy, enact my credit and instead of erasing everything that's on my sheet, like the knife, dagger, the robe, etc. Just re-equip with a wealth.
Oh, yeah. I would think like the embassy
Yeah.
should definitely.
Can I make a suggestion, Arkloyd?
You may.
Thank you. Can you possibly wait till you get a loge to do that? Because the more you re-equip yourself with, the more obvious who you are.
That is a good idea.
Be.
Thank you.
I think at this point it's a Knight's Tale, right? Stand in the crowd, hood up, no one recognizes you're the king.
Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, listen, it's totally up to you, Ark, at the end of the day. There's definitely this feeling of like intense police presence in the city these days.
Right.
But
So
for the first time in a long time.
Possible.
Yeah, and in the first time in a long time, you feel like you actually can blend in. The crowds here are so thick and so varied that you do feel like just one more face in a large and bustling crowd, right? And part of that has to do with the fact that your armor is resplendent. So without it, you do feel much more anonymous, which maybe is a comfortable feeling, given how these guards seem to scrutinize every face they pass by. But I mean, it's my understanding that the trappings gift is something that you activate, and then it's on me to come up with it. I think if you wanted to get your armor back at the embassy, I think that you could do that, based on the wording of the gift in the book. I don't mean to, like, the reason you have a signature item versus just having extravagant items is that that item is core to your character, and you shouldn't have to play without it if you don't want to, right?
Well, I'm thinking more along the lines of story-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The armor came from Fermarouge. That's where the mines are. That's where the smithies are. That's where his family's wealth is centered. So until we either get there or to another city where we can enact, my wealth gift again and have,
you do have
familial connections to the area.
Yeah.
Until we get to like Eloge or whatnot, it's not going to be there.
Cool. I like that because I think that's narratively strong. So, but
Yeah,
I'm just letting you know it is your decision.
It's a narrative.
Cool. Okay. Cool.
I don't want to go without the armor, but I understand the story.
Gotcha. I like it, and I appreciate it too. I think that's good role play. But yeah, when you hit the embassy, you can refresh your wealth gift. You can get basic provisions if you just want like a knife or a sword for personal protection.
Do you have knife trappings?
No.
Oh, okay. You're not that.
Knight trappings would have given me plate armor, which I don't need.
Okay.
And can't carry.
Yeah, I was just asking if you don't have a noble career. You just have a career and you're a noble, right?
Well, I have the knight errant career, but knight's trappings does not come with knight errant.
Oh, okay. Well, then don't worry about it. Okay, so yeah, so they would recognize your wealth, but they wouldn't just give you. Sounds good to me.
So I can like get all my quote unquote mundane equipment.
Yeah.
Everything but the armor, which I don't need right now, but like he won't be completely defenseless. I can get like some leather armor to go out with until later.
Yeah. As you approach and you can prove yourself nobility of Word-of-Paw nobility, they will certainly outfit you as best they can. So that sounds like leather armor, sounds like, a generic sword. Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to go ahead and change my favorite use from my saber to my saber.
Gotcha. Okay.
I have 3 XP to do that with, and I only need 1.
You just dump an XP on favorite uses this session. Oh wait, that's right. You didn't do the other one before. Sorry.
Nope.
Cool. Okay. So you guys have, I'm forgetting the timeline, but probably like at least a day, maybe a day and a half before the doctor and Dan roll into town and you guys manage to make contact. I'll tell you something. So I want to interject like a little wrinkle in all of this. Doctor, as you are strolling through town, Dan is eyeing up the general Triskellian population and getting a feel for the city.
I feel like I'd be staring at the cathedral.
Yeah, right. The cathedral makes a big impression. It's a huge building.
It's the biggest. Dan has never been to a big city before. I guess other than Harrogate, but Harrogate pales in comparison to Triskellion.
Harrogate was made on the cheap.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, Triskellion is the biggest, isn't it? Or is Shalon the biggest?
The Forbidden City in Zhongao is probably bigger.
On Calabria, I mean.
But this is definitely the largest city in Calabria. Yeah.
And
Harrogate is like a cheap imitation.
Right, and there's no structure in Calabria that compares to the cathedral, right?
Yeah, no, it's the biggest building in all. It's even bigger than the palace.
Right, so
wow.
I'm like one of those tourists that shows up in New York from like, I'm a country boy and I'm staring up at all the skyscrapers, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that is great. And I imagine, Doctor, you might be taking some pleasure in this. This is not... I don't think this is your first time in Triskellion.
I grew up in Bruges, and it's not that much different for me. In fact, it's nice to be just completely surrounded by walls and earthenworks again,
Yeah,
right.
Not flat open plains where there's no defenses.
The thing is, there's no greenery, right? The difference between Bruges is they have gardens and stuff.
I know, they have terrible taste here.
Yeah.
There's no design to the city. There's no purpose. People just built and lived here. Ugh.
So as you're bemoaning that fact, you collide bodily into someone. It has happened. It happens multiple times because of the density of bodies moving through here. You guys are probably in like the main market square if you're currently looking at the cathedral. And
the doctor is, of course, a chunky armadillo, so of course, plenty of bumping is happening.
The figure you bump into is slight, and let's add an oof that betrays them as a feminine oof, and you turn to apologize, and you realize that the red fox that you have just bumped into, that you've nearly knocked off her feet, is someone that you have crossed paths with before, and her eyes narrow as she looks at you too, and realizes that you can sense familiarity there. And as you try to place it, you realize that this was the fox that you met in the dungeons of Three Corners Fort. The interrogator that spoke to you and Anushka about the whereabouts of Connor while you guys were passing through.
Oh, crap.
Well, this perhaps is the perfect time to both tap anonymous and low profile and just go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, my lady, please let me help you up to your feet. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to. I'm so lowly as to..."
Okay.
And literally it's me groveling.
You're not really blending in with a crowd if you're literally talking to her.
Well, I'm clearly putting myself in a position to be someone she doesn't want to pay much more attention to.
Right, I just meant low profile. You're not blending into a crowd if you're touching her or talking to her.
I mean, I could see maybe an extension of the definition there of just being like trying to blend in with a crowd.
Ran off immediately afterwards, because then I'm clearly a pickpocket.
Yeah. Well, I assumed that's what was happening to you when it was first described, that you were getting pickpocketed. Oh no, I get all the chapbooks.
Right? My chapbooks! Stop that, man!
To more people now.
Yeah, right. Reverse pickpocketing.
So it could be a roll, or you could just say, yeah, between those two, she doesn't even remember me, and I'm not drawing attention. What do you want?
I mean, I want to roll for it because...
Yeah, because
you can use
deceit. Point.
I don't think you have deceit dice, but you can include those.
I have a D4.
You will. Oh, okay. You have a D4 in deceit. You roll that. It's not nothing. I want 2 successes.
Will. I've been rolling wrong this whole time. I've been rolling D8 for my will. I have a D10.
All right, that's better.
And what say you about anonymous and low profile?
I'm gonna give them to you. I think that I have to check the wording, I guess, but I think low profile blanket is like, oh, disappear into a crowd, right? But I think that in a case like this where you're pretending to be a faceless member of a crowd, I could see it too. And really, what is the art of blending into a crowd if not pretending to be someone forgettable?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So yeah, I'll give it to you.
Jason Bourne.
All right.
I know, right?
And the D4
There you
deceit
go.
die comes in clutch here. That is 3 successes.
All right. Yep. You can tell there's that flash of recognition. She's trying to place you, but she doesn't have a name to go with the face, and she seems like she's busy as well. So, your gambit seems to work. She dusts herself off. She's wearing like fine, dark colored robes, and she says, "Watch where you're going," and she will march past you. She does spare a glance over her shoulder at your back, and you can see the wheels are turning. But at least for the time being, you have escaped any kind of actual confrontation there, and you and Dan can continue on your way.
I would like one thing to happen during that scene, and that would be Lael, who's off to the side, to maybe see... Oh, he can't read. It doesn't matter if he tries to, like, read the fallen papers or something. He won't know. So never mind. He just looks at them and goes, I bet those would have been important.
Right. Yep.
So yeah.
Oh, Lael. And by the way, Lael is mind like this. He didn't know that something like this existed. Of course, he's heard of the cities outside of Phalon land, but he's probably never seen this many people in such a close space before. And it's obviously enchanting on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's a little bit terrifying. He tends to jump every time someone bumps into him unexpectedly.
Right, and I'm just patting him on the shoulder and going, it's just a different type of environment. Like every person, a tree in the woods.
And he says, "Yes, no, of course, please. I've heard all about this place from the missionaries. It's no big deal."
No big deal. Well, you should enjoy it, seeing new places. You're an explorer, after all. Come, I'll show you some of the fun places around here.
He nods. He's going to take your hand and let you leave. Because again, he's putting on a brave face, but he does seem very unnerved by just the sheer humanity is not the word, but menagerie of
the
critters.
Menagerie. There we go.
There
we coined the term today.
I like it. Okay, so shortly thereafter, you guys manage to make contact with Anushka and with Connor, and with Potter, right? And they seem to be intact, even if Connor's brilliant armor is missing.
Well, I do happen to have my armor, Sir Connor, if it is something that you deem necessary.
No, you should keep it.
Very well, then.
Because out of character, it will completely ruin my fighting style.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, at the very least, we are all safe and together again, but we are in the midst of a city which we don't want to stay in for too long. Though... No, I shouldn't think such things.
You're like, we should hang out. We should find a casino.
He's actually thinking, this De La Vega person who burnt down a village and is after Connor's life and has undoubtedly started a war between his nation and, between Connor and the Doctor's nation. Maybe we should do something about that, but no, I'm not a political assassin or anything. I'm a holy man and a pacifist. We should just ignore it.
Yeah, we should overthrow the government. Down with the monarchy.
No, but that would require violence. Never mind. I guess people could just suffer.
It'll just be fine. It'll be okay. I'll tell you, I guess the first thing you guys need to do is get out of the city if you intend to. If there's anything else you'd like to do in the city, though, now would be the time.
Yeah, the more time we spend here, the more is at risk for getting caught.
Seconded. We should already be gone. Hold on, I'll go buy a torch so I can light these people's tails on fire.
Well, only concern that I had was, are we like hiring a coach, renting a wagon? What are we doing?
Well, here's what I would suggest. While we were here, I assume that Potter would have gone around looking for people loyal to Connor's cause, and we would have recruited more irregulars. Then whenever irregulars show up, we should take note of their skill set and do what's appropriate to that.
Knowing Potter's chances at any scenario that involves talking to people, do you remember the scene in Gladiator where it looks like he's about to get away and reunite with his men? I can only imagine we're going to get there and Potter's going to be sitting on a destrier or something like that. And then the destrier's going to run away and Potter's going to be hanging from a tree and get shot by an arrow or something.
Well, I mean, Connor still has a day. He can still roll and start trying to gather some people up But wait, if he does, he's
True.
putting his name out there.
Again, yes, it's the whole point
Yeah.
about waiting till
Yeah.
we get to a luge or something. Is that
Mhm.
anything is a risk, and this is point central for where he's wanted.
All right. Well, let's do it. We can always find irregulars on the road. That's by definition. So, yeah, I would suggest that we should head out immediately.
Or
Let's
off-roading.
Get your provisions and get out.
All right. Yeah. Yep. Once again, speaking of provisions, I don't know if you guys have any.
Oh.
You lost your main mode of transportation.
Though I
We'll
guess
still
of
have
important note, so Anushka, so they didn't take the cart, but we did have our 2 drays. What did they do with them? Did you manage to
Oh,
get those back?
Those
Oh,
have been
yeah.
sold. Those are gone.
Yeah.
Also, pointedly, we're going off-road through what's been continuously described as farmland.
It's true.
We're already
You
going to
forage.
be, we're already going to be, trespassing. What's a little theft of food along the way?
Well, I still have food. We have money. We could just buy some while we're still here.
I don't. Think
Yeah, this might be a good time to take.
Look,
to
William,
take
I don't
account of
think
what
you
we do
understand.
have.
We need to get out of town.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. So I'll just stand around and watch you guys delay. I know no fear.
Let's get going.
Okay. All right. Just for my own edification, though, I'm curious. How are we doing on cash, and how are we doing on rations? What are people rolling with at this point? Because a
Once
lot of
again,
that stuff was taken. Was
Once
seized.
again,
Dan, go first.
no pockets.
No pockets.
Dan, no
it's
pockets.
Nothing.
That's easy. Okay.
Connor, fully robbed. Nothing.
Nothing. So let's start with the
Anushka.
doctor.
All right.
What's the doctor
have-
packing?
I have 24 dinar, most of it given to me by Anushka. I have
Respectable.
8 herbivore rations and 4 carnivore travel grub.
Okay. That could last your party like a few days, right? And Anushka?
I'm down to a mere 46, and I'd like to point out the 24 of that I gave to the doctor.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So that means you have less than 46, or 46 is what's left
I
over.
have 46, and the doctor owes technically.
Here,
But
go
I
ahead and take the 24 back right now. I'm at
All
0.
right. I'm. However, my money is now only in double digit.
Well, wait. He gave you 24. How much of that did we use on the cart ride?
Yeah, did you spend that on the carts?
15.
Keep your money and keep track of it. Like I said, I'm down to
All right,
46.
I'll keep the 24.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm down to 46, but because I had to pay like almost all my money to get Connor out of jail.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I have 46 dinar liquid.
Cool. Good to know. Good for my own edification. Thank you very much. As you guys are making your way to eastern exit from the city, you pass by a small spectacle. It is a rooster. He seems to be a bard of some kind who is currently being arrested, accosted, and brutalized by a pair of Triskellian guards. And you can hear him shouting things like, down with the phony king of England, quite literally. Down with the false king of Rinaldi. The throne was stolen. Murders. The people deserve to know. Their food is being taken out of their mouths by a usurper to the throne. That was him getting elbowed hard in the stomach.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
he
not to
knocked out
sound
of him.
heartless, but that guy's getting everything he deserves. You don't have the brains enough not to shout that shit around the front gates of Triskellion, and someone's got to
he's
teach
rooster,
you.
He's gotta.
Someone's
You
got to
can
teach you.
You can see that, yes, there is a crowd of onlookers that are aghast. They're looking shocked and horrified and kind of turning away, but they're not going far. They want to see how this plays out. Doesn't look like it's going to end well for our rooster friend.
Huh, Anushka, you ever hear anything like that? This is a false king? Oh, weird.
Well, I guess so. I mean, while wandering around, people complaining. But you know, I've been hanging out in the
You
Aberfly
held a
Embassy.
sword that literally told you.
Yeah, but I've been hanging out in the Aberfly Embassy, where of course they say.
Well, I mean, this is, they've been saying that for years.
For a while now. Holy mandate.
But okay, so you guys
Dan ain't no rubbernecker, so.
keep your nose out of the business of political dissidents.
Well, I mean,
It
it's
would
not
only
like
start a fight.
it's not like it's a paid fight. I didn't come here to watch this. I'm trying to get out of town, not stay in it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, you guys will pass by. The spectacle that this has drawn means that no one is paying particular mind to any of you as you pass through the gates.
Heck. I stay behind half a second. I need to rally this person.
Are you going to
And
try?
And then escape.
Okay. All right. Is there a way to cast magic subtly? That's like the mystic, right? Is the thing.
White.
This is like, I'm literally shouting, so.
Yeah, white doesn't do it by
Yeah.
default. You want like
White is-
purple and green
yeah.
robes.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
fact,
myself is not subtle. I am drawing attention to myself doing this.
you are the obvious. Yeah, you're the opposite. Look at how great white magic is. All of you should bow down and worship it.
All right. So first thing I'm going to do, let's do the rolls first. So first of all, his rally roll. So that's 2. So if he's hurt or injured, I could go ahead and take that away. Well, not injured, sorry. Hurt or afraid or reeling or things like that. I don't know how many conditions. he has
Gotcha.
right now.
He's definitely hurt.
I will choose not to remove hurt because I will, in fact, tap. What's it called again? Flesh Ward, where he's going to go ahead and roll stuff.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Where he needs to roll his will, and of course, he has his piety. He could roll that too. Currently, he is at 2 Flesh Ward, and let's see how much more he gets.
This is just to determine if he's pious. It's
Yeah.
it's a 50-50. Okay, yeah. He's not pious, so he's just going
Okay,
to be
he
rolling
gets-
his will.
He gets will.
Oof. It was close.
All right. So he's still hurt, but he has 2 Flesh Ward. He's not reeling. He's not afraid. He can do what he wants, as I am just kind of shouting out, it's like, don't let them abuse you like that. Fly, you fool.
You have wings, damn it. He's like, they don't work. I'm a rooster.
Then just jump really good. I don't care.
I can
I'm a
glide.
rooster, baby.
I feel
So
like
what I'm-
Dan would try and like muzzle the doctor at this point. Push him off.
This is where you drag me off, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Oh, I
also
love
in
it.
my head, Dan would see this as like an evil act that you performed just now. You've
really?
incited this
Okay.
rooster to further acts which will get him hurt even worse. If he keeps going, they're not going to beat him. They're going to beat him to death. And you've instigated this by encouraging him. So,
Man, that is when healing goes bad. Okay.
well, it's
Yeah.
also that
Well-
he's healing him. He's not making him invincible. He's just going to take more blows, and that's going to hurt more.
That is very true.
Well, that's what Flesh Ward's there for.
Yeah, that'll last the next 5 seconds.
Right.
Right.
The,
So ultimately the question is that enough for him to try to get away?
Well, it does distract. At least one of these guards takes a moment from police brutality to focus on you, and says like, "Oh, you, oh, and member of the cloth, are you? Like, well, what do you think you're doing, interrupting with the king's business?" He takes a few steps towards you. The rooster, who is now aware of you too, and can feel the holy light from within him now, will say, "Bless you, brother. Get out of here, though. Spread the word. The king is an imposter." Takes
Now,
another
I
real meaty
did
blow.
I did make the move to grab him and try and like literally muzzle him and keep going as fast as I can.
Okay.
So when the
Yeah.
guard turns around and says that stuff to the doctor, don't mind
He's
him.
moving
He's
you
weak
away.
in the head. Don't worry. I'm getting him treated. He just needs food. He hasn't eaten in a while. Weak in the head, starving.
All right. He's stomping towards you guys as you're pushing Dan. You're like pushing the doctor away, but you can see that his resolve is weakening as Dan is sort of like making these excuses. And if you guys leave right now and don't do anything else, you can definitely get out of the city before this guard can catch you, and he'll give up pursuit.
That I've done my due diligence. I am out.
Your conscience is clear. Okay. You guys make it out as this guard shouts after you. Basically like mind yourselves, you hear? Stay clear of the king's business. And then the walls, the hustle and bustle and noise of Triskellian fades away as you march westward towards the plains of the Avoirdupois.
Back on the road again.
Back on the road again.
Well, by road, we're trespassing in, people's territory. We need to move quickly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to
That's
be
not
fair,
what I'm
though,
really built for.
easier to swiftly travel unseen through farmland on foot than it is in a cart.
But that depends if there's farmers around.
Well, I just mean that you're not mowing down whatever they're growing. I don't know what the
They may
crop of
mind
this
it
territory
slightly
is.
less, yeah.
So yeah, where do you live that farmers don't mind you going through their stuff?
Actually, I've done that
Might be
many
less
times
than
before
the
in my
cart.
life. I have lots of family that has farmland, so
Well, you don't live in the 30 years of warland. Right.
I'm not saying that they don't mind. That wasn't my argument. I said it's easier to get through unseen. A couple of people, if I don't know if this is wheat fields, corn fields, whatever, it's easier for people on foot to go by unseen than a cart rolling everything down.
Well, we're close to the city, so there would be fences. So getting over or under the fences is difficult. But once we do that, there'd be the fire breaks, which are those pits that people dig, to make sure that the whole thing doesn't burn down. And that's what we'd be traveling through.
Still a lot easier than getting, a cartwheel over that.
But they're also farmland, which means that if any farmers see us, they might. Once again, one of Rafferty's favorite things to invoke. It's like, if it's a world where people can carry weapons, that means the farmers are armed.
Yeah. I wasn't stealing. I was trying to sleep with your daughter.
And the one Oriole reward for Connor's capture is a lot better to random farmer than it is to red river pirate.
Right. I still feel the likeliest thing is that, we might get chased off by pitchforks a time or two, depending on how this goes.
Or arrested. We just also don't want to piss them off, because also if they get pissed off and see us, they might, report us to the authorities, De La Vega's authority.
Again, depending on what they're farming out here, this could be tons of concealment.
Yeah. And also, realistically, there's a lot more farms. I'm always fond of pointing out, you play like Skyrim and here's this one tiny farm of 4 crops that feeds this entire city.
Yeah, no, we're talking about patches to the horizon.
Yeah.
Fields and fields. That's true.
Yeah, and the farms in Skyrim, you can toss, not even throw a stone across them.
This would be
You're in the Idaho of Triskellia.
Those aerial pictures of Britain where they show you those happy hedges that are all there. Yeah, that's all farmland.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know what their primary crop is around here, though, so I can't.
There'd be hedgerows. Well, people are growing. You want to grow multiple things and rotate them because you don't want to.
Right. But I mean, even then, still going to be fields of it. But I mean, is it the taller crops that we can sneak through without being seen? Wheat fields are tall enough that you go through. Corn
and hay, we could corn and grass we could sneak through. Clover we couldn't. But we do our best. We're all stealthy, right? You guys all have stealth, right?
Everybody's got stealth. Does anyone actually have stealth?
No.
Anybody? No.
You got speed.
It's funny. I don't actually have it. It's funny. It's
well, that's why I said taller crop growths have inbuilt concealment penalties. Because benefits, because we'd be shorter than the crops.
I mean, we try. We're pretty obvious. Not to mention the fact that we bicker a lot.
So. I mean, there is that. The bickering I can't argue about, but
and none of us know how to read hobo. So
there you go.
No, but apparently this crop field's been visited by aliens.
Is anybody here? Is anybody here native to the plains? I think Doc is.
Yep, that's right. I am. So at least I know how to navigate around.
Yeah. So you, walking on long flat surfaces is your thing.
Yeah. So what I want to do is say you guys are trying to move through here briskly. I mean,
if anyone's tracking us, they will be able to follow us. is what I'm getting.
Yeah, but mostly you guys want to move through quickly enough that anyone who would take umbrage to you cutting through their territory would have a low chance of spotting you. So
Yeah.
I think that rather than dealing with, like Griff said, you probably worst case get chased off with pitchforks and stuff. So rather than worry about rolling for that, I want to roll for hiking endurance to see if you guys get fatigued over your journey.
I mean, also, the arguable thing is that fields spread out so massively and wide, the farmers don't work them all at the same time.
Exactly.
It's like a needle in a haystack to find somewhere here.
So are we doing body endurance?
Yeah, the real thing I'm worried about.
If you have hiking, you can use that too.
And
any
species
gossip-
extra planes.
Yeah, if any gossip gets back to De La Vega, like people might say, hey, there could be a spy network. Hey, Connor was spotted. Someone checked in on Connor's bounty, and then someone matching Connor's description was seen heading east.
Right, there's the risk. Yep.
Right, that's what I would be worried about, because we're not very good at hiding who we are.
And I'm going to roll for Lael real quick, too.
Unfortunately, it was Harmon that was all endurance, not so much Dan. I'm a sprinter, not a runner.
Lael's built for this and gets 3 successes.
Nice.
The doctor has 1.
I have 1.
For this first leg of the journey, 1 is all you're going to need.
It's a good thing I kept hiking.
Unless you guys intend to take some time resting between, that the number of successes is going to go up as you guys push on.
Since we're already rolling endurance and hiking, does that mean that we're already pushing past an 8-hour trek, or is this?
Yeah.
Okay. So
well, it's really more like you're. So I'm thinking you're doing it at a fast pace, right?
So we're pushing ourselves.
You're pushing yourselves, yeah.
So, 8 hours is what, a square?
Yeah, I'll do it like for a square. So this roll was like for the first square, and you guys make it in like, I don't know, like 5 hours, 6 hours, because you guys are trying to like keep moving, stay low. You're not taking many breaks, and it looks like everyone got at least 1 success. So everyone is still doing good. If you want, you can go again, but you'll need 2 successes to avoid being fatigued. It'll be the same roll.
I'll keep going.
I think we should force it.
All right.
Cool.
I mean, we need distance. I will feel better once we're in Abertapod domain.
Yep,
the doctor
and this will get
aces
you
it with 3.
There by nightfall.
And Lael aces it with 4.
Well, I'm fatigued.
Right, so as soon as you get fatigued, that's when we have to stop.
Well, I was only rolling 1 die anyway, so...
Can I actually rally off fatigue? I don't think so, no. I can make people fatigued.
Oh, well. Right. So, in other words, we wear Dan out, which is fine.
Well, it looks like you're fatigued, too.
Who, me?
Yeah, you needed 2 successes for this roll.
Oh, yeah. No, I get tired, too, because I'm walking and not flying.
Yeah.
See, I only had 1 die, so I figured if I passed on the 1 die, I'd throw in my personality so I wouldn't slow everyone down. But I failed on my 1 die,
Connor
too.
and Potter also get 1.
It's okay. I'm still good. We can keep going.
I do think maybe we should stop, says the doctor, who hasn't broken a sweat.
Yeah, literally everyone but the doctor has now fatigued.
He may not be the fastest, but he is hardy.
All right, we have to find a safe... Now, this gets tricky, because we have to find a safe place to camp.
Indeed. So as night is falling, you guys have spent kind of an exhausting day ducking over and under fences, hunched, running. The only breaks that you've had are the moments where you freeze hiding in tall crops at the sounds of nearby farmers and Dre. And now, finally, you've gotten to the point where certain members of your party cannot proceed, and the sun is setting low, the shadows are growing long, and you do need to find a place to rest. You can see nearby there is a small, it wouldn't be called a wood, it would certainly be like a copse of trees or something, and you can see that there's also a farmhouse. It's not a village. It's a collection of houses where probably like 1 or 2 families live and work their farm from nearby.
I mean, what's the crop?
The crop is wheat. Wheat
Damn
is a
it.
good crop.
I was going.
What were you,
Eat it.
what were you hoping
I was hoping
for?
for corn. I could just lay on my back out in the middle of a cornfield, chuck a couple pieces of corn, pull the worms and shit out of it. And...
Yeah, I guess
why would
wheat
you-
needs to be milled,
Why would you
right?
pull the worms out of it? The most delicious part.
Protein.
Well, you'd say that, but I don't give a shit. I'm an herbivore. I don't care. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. So really, I would think we should take shelter in the because you don't want people to know you're here. So I think we could shake
Right.
down the cops and see if it's safe.
Sorry, difference between our 2 manners of hiding. You want to go hide in a building, and I'm gonna lay in this ditch.
Well, I should ask what time of year it is, whether it's warm or cold, because one of the problems with laying down in ditches the flash floods.
Ooh. It is so you guys
Nothing to wake me
the
up
last time
faster.
we stated a date, it was during the tournament in was it Enclume or was it was in Chalon, right? The Avoirdupois tournament, and that was midsummer. That was strawberry, I think. And it has been at least a month, probably getting closer to a month and a half to 2 months since then. So we're getting like late summer into early fall, but it's still warm enough out that you guys should be able to sleep outside in the elements without too much fear. Although I don't know when the rainy season would be for this part of the country, right? Part of the continent.
I don't know. Does the
That's
doctor
something
have
we
a
can
farmer's
look
almanac?
No.
Am I back? I'm back. Okay, my
Yeah.
mic died.
But-
Yeah, the spring is the rainy season.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. So you guys are pretty safe from flash floods at the very least. If you want to know,
Yeah, no, I
what-
think we should just hunker down, bind up, and not start a fire.
right. I'll take weather sense from anyone who wants to
Hey,
determine what
who's
the
got
next
weather
24 hours
sense?
hold.
I wonder who has that. I wonder who spends all their time thinking about the weather.
You
Hey,
might be a little
okay.
surprised, but Dan does not.
Dan does not know. Okay. Well, you know that you're going to have a clear night and probably pretty good traveling weather this day as well, Anushka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. Well, so I'm glad everybody came to watch our harrowing escape without violence. Because I realized
I have
Right.
to say, I'm proud of all of you for just holding on to the goodness in your hearts and restraining yourself from violence.
I live for this kind of stuff. This is like when we talk about whether it's like Game of Thrones, like this is like Game of Thrones, right? They spend entire episodes just walking across snow.
I often think
hiding
that
in
maybe
barns.
there's no other way to violence to solve our problems, but I see my teachings have actually finally taken hold. Yes, I'm so proud of all.
Yes,
of you.
we've broken RPG standards. We've surrendered to a gang of typicals and then negotiated a hostage release. And then walked across some plains.
Yep, pretty much. You guys have already done your prison
To do
break.
that, we have to have the
Fine.
drone shot that goes high above us to show the sweeping landscape.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
of
but the
course.
drone can't find us for a minute because we're hidden in some wheat fields.
They'll never find us here in the wheat.
I'm sorry, the show's been canceled. We lost the cast in Idaho for some reason.
Personally,
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't figure out why the intro was just a shot of a wheat field.
Well, we'll know we're in Avoirdupois domain when it's all hay.
Yeah.
And of course,
So-
while we're walking, Connor's like, when we get home, we're going to have a feast. It's going to be in your honor. Of course, breathing heavily because he's
Oh, that is great. Okay, well, we're almost out of time, but there's one more thing I want to do before the debrief, real quick, and that is anyone going to be taking any kind of watch during this respite, which seems to be falling at night?
Well, I suppose the doctor is the only one
I
who's
am
not
in fact a
fatigued.
night cycle creature, and I have my darling wolf companion here.
I mean, I got blind fighting.
I love it. Okay, so sounds like Dan. Well, Dan, you're fatigued also. You could really use the rest.
I'm fine.
Anyone who's fatigued needs the rest to remove fatigued. I think that's how that works. But how about
That's
this?
totally how that works.
That is totally
I think
how that
I
works.
have the other concern that I've just witnessed the doctor being an idiot, and
You're afraid he's going to do something.
yeah, we're not too far away from some buildings. I don't know. A couple of children start play fighting, and the doctor's gonna run out and
Go over, knock on the door. Have you heard the good word today?
well, more like you're gonna try and rescue some kids from one another, thinking they're in some danger. Who knows?
Interesting. Who knows? Well, interesting. Here's what I'll say. I mean, you're welcome to keep a weather eye on the doctor if you want to. If you're cool with maintaining your fatigued status for the night, that's an option.
The
It's up to
problem is
you.
if you don't rest, you're not going to be able to travel tomorrow.
Well, additional problem is if I have to wake up in
Mm.
the middle of the night because the doctor has caused us an issue, I'm not gonna be able to travel tomorrow.
Well,
Right.
it doesn't reset. We're not like, oh no, I woke up in the middle of my 8-hour rest. It's totally useless now.
Hate it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Hmm,
But if
Okay.
you don't get a good night's rest, you won't be able to heal fatigue, which you won't be able to travel overland.
All right.
Right.
So what
okay.
are we gonna do for watching then?
I would like the doctor to give me mind observation. Is your trait listen?
My trait is listen. However, Lael will probably be taking the lead on this, and they do in fact also have listen.
Well, I don't know about Lael actually. I think he's keeping
Lael
an eye
did
out.
better than I did.
So there's one detail to this which I think. Well, I guess I don't know. Do you have
And he's
supernatural?
also a night creature.
That's also true.
Oh.
Do you have supernatural dice?
Lael doesn't, I do.
Okay. Well,
I guess
this is
that's
gonna
the question.
This is gonna be mind observation species for those who are using listen and supernatural, and it's up to you which one of you wants to roll, which one of you wants.
Alright, so if it comes down to supernatural, then the doctor's gonna take the lead on this roll.
Okay.
Because that just makes the most sense. Lael will have a d6 and a d8 to try to assist. He also technically has another species to roll here too, so we'll go ahead and roll the extra d6. So he gets the one assist. So
Got it.
now let's figure out the doctor's mind, which is a d6. I have no observation. I'm blind, by the way. And let's see. How much supernatural do I actually have? I have not rolled this substantially at all. Oh, I do have a fair bit, d6 and a d10.
Mhm.
And I do have my species die, which is actually a d6. Here we go. And then I have the assistant d8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nice. 4. Jesus. Okay.
There's no ghost sneaking up on me.
No, there is not. So here's the inciting thing is that as the night is carrying on and many of your companions have laid their heads down to rest, you're keep being drawn to the farmhouse that is still visible in the distance, a little twinkling of light from one of the windows. And in the deep dark of the night, you can hear what you're sure must be a scream. It catches your attention and Lael's attention. What is more concerning, though, is that you have something prickles your supernatural senses. You can feel a dark, cloying, negative energy on the wind, something that makes the hair stand up on your neck, if you have hair on your neck as an armadillo.
Mhm.
And given
mammal.
this, still a mammal, given this, you peer and you can make out sounds of what sound like long, low moans in the distance. Your skin crawls, a sensation that you have only ever felt in the presence of the undead. It seems that whoever was resting at this farmhouse is having a very bad night of it.
That is a call to action if ever there was one.
That is, and we're out of time for today, but it's something
Yep.
to think about for next time. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for playing. We can do a quick debrief, talk about the goal.
Yeah, we did rescue Connor.
You guys did rescue Connor. You did lose your opportunity to buy those guns. So if anyone still has that, you can strike that goal from your sheet. But you guys did rescue Connor, and for that, Crap, I totally wasn't ready for that because I honestly didn't see you guys getting captured by river folk. So
I love Thrones. Yeah, that's always on
Yeah.
my list of things that throws GMs for loops. Because, like, wait, players surrender? What?
right?
Players never surrender because surrendering is losing. No one likes to lose. But no, that's why I said, like, speaking of the debriefing, it's like I love stuff like that because stuff like that happens in stories and stuff like that happens in reality.
Yeah.
And so, but like when I say the believable ransom, there's like Stormbringer. There's a role playing game, Stormbringer. It's one of the RuneQuest spinoffs. And they mentioned, like, oh, this game is incredibly lethal. How do you avoid getting killed? They say, well, you should have a believable ransom. So when bandits capture you, you could say, hey, if you leave me alive, someone will actually pay for me. Which I always thought was hilarious advice because there's no way you can actually implement that in the like no one has money lying around in a safe place that hey guys, I know I'm a stranger anyway. It's one of the most hilarious lines. It's so stupid. But it actually can happen in freaking Ironclaw.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I would recommend you give us a pathetic gift for this rescue because I had fun.
Yeah. I was thinking of you guys already have been offered knack for vehicles, I'm pretty sure. I get the feeling I did that.
So got it.
I think some of you were also offered knack for swimming very early in our adventure.
You can just give us boating.
Thinking. Give you boating? Is boating a
sailing?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
two things. It's a bonus D12 when you're on a boat, and because it's a bonus D12 to your vehicles when you're on a boat, it eliminates all penalties while boating.
Yeah, then that's the one. If it's sailing or boating, I don't know where it is in the book.
Right.
Sailing. So that's what I will offer you guys.
I am torn because obviously I should keep it, but at the same time I want to sell it so I can fight undead even better now.
Do I get this as well, even though I was the one being rescued?
Yeah, you kept hostage.
You're on the boat.
I believe your goal was to rescue Connor. In fact, that you were Connor and wanted to be rescued.
Yes. Okay.
So what do you think? Should I get bigger laser beams, everybody?
Yes.
All right, bigger laser beams. I'm selling them back.
How are you getting bigger laser beams? What's bigger than
Because
Fulguration?
I'm gonna buy a new gift.
You're buying what?
I think probably like it's actually consecration that I'm probably looking at. I have the laser beam.
Oh yeah, consecration, the ability to
one.
actually stop the undead.
Yes.
You know what's funny?
I might be useful.
What's funny is I'm gonna keep this gift of sailing just so that I can now sell back my marks in vehicles.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's actually probably pretty fair. I mean,
Well,
he's a card later.
I actually pilot coaches, so I'm not selling back my. I would sell back sailing and buy more vehicles.
Could we perhaps travel by like tunneler or something in the future? You know, give me my digging die.
Get that digging dice. Digging is the skill that I have the hardest time working games.
Yo, trust me, I understand completely.
Of all
Don't
the
even
skills,
worry about it. Also, I only have D6 now. I'm terrible. I'm ashamed of my species. Let's see.
Okay. Yeah, and I think, like I said, we're running short on time. Thank you guys for going a little late, but I think everybody, I think, has done something that really exemplifies their motto. I know Connor thought about his men. That sounds like Connor to me in the negotiation. Yeah, I think everyone should get an XP for roleplay today. Everyone should get an XP for being here. Everyone got that gift. Or sold back that gift, right?
Yup.
Okay, cool. In that case,
sailing just in case this happens again.
You guys have run into boats a number of times. It might,
It will definitely come back, considering that one of the plot threads here is, oh, by the way, they're going to come invade your country by boat in the south, by the way. It'll come up again.
Also, there's a book coming out where boating is kind of a big deal. So
yeah, that's right.
A Book of Corals with its exciting. Yes, I'm Norbert Rafferty. I work for Sanguine Games, and yes, we are hard at work on Book of Corals. I'd like to thank some of the new team members that are. I mean, the old team members did a great job. but there were some people who had to bow out, but we've got new people. And so it's going to be done real soon now. People can see the art assets are rolling in. Thanks for all your feedback. We're still hard at work.
Awesome. And I'm Red Rabbit. You can find me at startplaying.games as Red Rabbit. And I will run a game for you if you're interested. I'm actually getting slots opening on the weekend, which is a big deal now. So keep an eye out for those.
Yep. And of course, come back to the channel at 10, 2, and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sundays and Wednesdays. Come see more of us. Come watch Pathfinder later tonight at 6. And of course, come see our podcast. That's the word. Podcast on Fridays. Also at 2 p.m. Bi-weekly. So come see us and see what we talk about. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, buy plushies, go visit every site, and go host a game with Red Rabbit. See you next time, everybody.
Take
See
care,
you guys.
y'all.
Thank you for playing.